would like to tell you about a little change that you will see in Quizbrary, because I don't know how many people listened to my conversation with Mirka. The German partners started using Quizbrary too. So now we have to, let's say, separate Quizbrary. And that's why when you enter the link www.quizbrary.com, you will see a new, let's say, a little bit different window, a little bit different box. And you will see that you have to choose not only, let's say, you have to enter not only the numbers, but the figures, but also a prefix. And this prefix you can see in front of you, it's NJANJA in Polish, yes. And this is the number, okay? So you can try to see if it works. If the website is not refreshed, because it may happen that if you enter the link, you can see the old website. Then you have to click the refresh button. I don't know if you know where the refresh button is, but if you look at the left top corner of your screen, you will see two arrows, and they are circular, or like the one. And if you click the circular arrow, the page will be refreshed. Yes, Mirko, is it working? Yes or no? Yes.
Just a moment. Okay.
I see, because people write that it works. Because
Yes.
I wanted to see if it works. Okay, so that's great. And I decided that we should start with a little review of the previous lesson, previous meeting. So the first exercise, which I would like you to do, has got a strange, let's say, name, because it's lesson 4, 5, task 7, 0, because it's listening about industrial properties. It's, I think, quite interesting. It's about 3 minutes, 4 minutes long, not more. So I suppose that you can start listening to this, the old routine. So you open it in the new tab, and you just click the exercise and you answer the questions. By the way, I entered the link to the exercise in the task. So you can simply, I don't know, because it depends on your devices. Either you can use, let's say, control click the link, or you can simply use copy paste. And in this way, you can open the link to listen about industrial properties. I hope you're ready, and I hope you don't have any technical problems. And I think around 5 minutes should be enough to do the task. So time start. Magdo, do you see really just the empty box? Because there should be like the black line, and if you click it, it is, let's say, it becomes white, and this is the link to the exercise. Or maybe you have not refreshed the page. I am just trying to help Magda solve the problem, but I hope that nobody else has got the problem. Only Magdalena reported the problem. I think the problem could be either with the refreshing the website, or maybe not entering the right the link, but the link to listening. Have you refreshed the website? Okay, because it works in mine. So I am just thinking, anybody else? Because I see that Dominika is trying to help, and she has forwarded the link to listening. So just before we continue, have you refreshed the page? Because that's very important. Małgosiu and Magdo, have you done that? We will see in a second if it works, okay? Because Małgosia is writing something. Just give me a chance to see if everything is going fine. Okay, so I think it started at least working when Dominika forwarded the link. So, like, sorry, because I think that you will do the listening maybe sometime later, because I think all the other people probably have finished doing it, but it just shows me that I should also enter the link to the chat, and it will be easier for everybody to listen. And now we come to zoning. Zoning, a word zone, yes? So it is dividing the land into land use zones, okay? And as it says here, it is the most common regulatory urban planning method. And regulatory is explained below. It is making or concerned with making official rules about what is acceptable. So regulatory is that we have to follow it. If we want or not, there is a law and we must follow it, yes? And zoning as a way to control the use of land is used in most developed countries. However, there are two places in the world that do not use zoning as a regulatory method. One of the places, and that's why we suffer the consequences of this, I mean, linguistic consequences, is the United Kingdom. They do not use zoning as a technique for controlling the land use. They use, and now it's a beautiful word, discretionary. Discretionary, it means uznaniowy. So the professional person decides what is good, what is bad, what is useful, what is allowable, what is permissible, and what is not. And they have property use classes. The other place that does not use zoning, apart from the United Kingdom, it's Houston in Texas. All the other countries more or less use zoning. And I would say that it's like, let's say that in the United Kingdom, I think around 3 years ago, they started talking about using zoning. And there are some articles that you can read where people discuss pros and cons of using zoning. And as usual, there are advantages and disadvantages of each approach. But English people are a little bit conservative, and in 1947, they decided to use some kind of planning law. But conservative or not, they are thinking about new things. And now I would like you to start individual task 1, which is reading. You will have a short text about zoning, how it works in most countries around the world. It is not the original text, but it is, let's say, it was adapted from the original text. So it's not as long as the original one. So I wish you good luck with reading. And I hope that you will find it interesting, because I think it is interesting. And I hope, Magda and Małgosiu, that the reading works, that you can do the exercise. I hope it's not too difficult. That's great. It means that you've made progress, simply. How are the other people doing? Surviving the text? Or it's too I hope it's not too complicated. What can I say? I think that's the only reaction. Yes. I think that the listening that you will have right now should not be very difficult either, because it's about the same thing, but this time it's not that I am talking, it's not that you are reading, but you will listen to somebody else. So I think that you will be specialists soon, and you will know the difference between planning and zoning. And I will just copy the link, okay? Or you maybe can copy the link that you can see here. If not, I will in a second enter it into the chat box. But those who can open the task, please do it, okay? And for those who for some reason cannot do it, I will do it, and you can use the chat box, okay? But maybe this time.
I've just done it.
You've done it, yes? Okay.
Yes, so
Okay.
probably it will work.
But oh yeah, I can see. Okay. Slowly finishing. I suppose that you are slowly finishing listening to the text. And I think that now we are, let's say, familiar with the systems around the world. But now let's focus on Poland. So in Poland, there is something called spatial planning, planowanie przestrzenne, which is described in the Spatial Planning and Development Act. And this is the framework of our law for the planning system and all the other laws that affect the land use directly and indirectly. What does it look like? So we've got the national level. And now, as you can see, I gave the translations of all, let's say, important documents in Polish and in English. These are the official formal translations used by our governmental bodies. So let's say when you listened to the text and when you read that text, everywhere they said that there were let's say two levels. Yes, the top level, which was like the ideas, concepts, and the bottom, it is like the practical things, the detailed information. So we have the National Spatial Development Concept 2030. Then we move down, we've got the regional level where we've got regional spatial development plans. Then we go even lower, we come to the local level where we've got two things. We've got studies of conditions and directions of spatial development, and where we've got something which officially in Polish is, let's say officially, it's not the only name, but because it's again used by our governmental institutions, I decided to use it here. It is the Local Spatial Development Plan. And why do I say that, that this is not the only expression, not the only way to put it? Well, first of all, if we think about the British system, they don't have zoning. So you don't have one-to-one correspondence when you think about expressions and words. So let's, like in the reading, we've got tier 1, the planning level, where we can talk about the master plan, comprehensive plan, local plan. So you can see even, and these are words taken, expressions taken from the United Kingdom, from the United States, from Australia. So, they all speak English, but let's say they use a little bit different words. And I think you should just pick one, learn one, and use one. Of course, you should be familiar with the others to know what the people are talking about, but it's basically enough to use one. And then we've got the detailed level where we've got the first one in bold. It's the Local Spatial Development Plan. But also you can come across words like the Land Utilization Plan, the Spatial Development Plan, the local zoning plan. So the variety of names, and this sometimes when you want to talk about something, it creates a problem. But okay, we've come from the national level to the local level, and theoretically, all the country should be covered by the local spatial development plans. This is a theory, because in practice, it's not true. So if there is no local spatial development plan, then we've got planning decisions. And again, you can here in blue see, let's say, three most important planning decisions. You've got a version in English and in Polish. So you've got a decision on building and land development conditions. You've got a decision on public purpose investment location, and a decision on land development conditions. I put the Polish WZK because sometimes I think people just use this expression instead of decyzja o warunkach zabudowy, but this is in English a decision on land development conditions. This is not the end, because apart from the local spatial development plan, we've got the local revitalization plan, miejscowy plan rewitalizacji. And here you've got in English the explanation. I think it's good, and I try to give the explanation in English, because even if you read it, I think you learn a lot. Because you review words, you repeat them, so it's quite useful. Then we have the local reconstruction plan, miejscowy plan odbudowy. And there is also something quite important. These are functional urban areas, which comprise cities and the commuting zones. Commute, it means that people every day get to work by car, by train. They are called commuters. And I think in Tri-City, we experience this situation. We've got, people living around, so they live in commuting zones, and there is a core. Core, it is like the center. Like you have the apple, you have the core inside, you have the core area, right? And when you talk about local spatial development plan, you may come across also the other names mentioned here. And then, what does the local spatial development plan, what does it do? Well, it prescribes particular permissible land uses, okay? So like when you were reading, right, they said like basically there are three things, and then of course you can go into details, but first of all, it's the function, the use, yes? Then it details the size and volume of permitted development. It also details the rules for property division, right? It also provides the protection of cultural assets and heritage buildings for a given area in a municipality or commune. It also estimates infrastructure costs and details property, again a beautiful word, expropriation, wywłaszczenie nieruchomości. And now, just because sometimes, we see this word which looks strange, sounds even stranger, and how to use it when we talk about it, yes? So, first of all, we can substitute expropriation with the expression eminent domain, if you want. So, these are synonyms. And here I gave you the examples of sentences, how to use these expressions in the sentence. So the state took the homes by eminent domain to build the new road. Czyli stan przejął poprzez wywłaszczenie domy, żeby zbudować nową drogę. This is, for example, something that has just happened in Chwaszczyno, for example, but I think it's happening everywhere. So you take something by eminent domain. Or you can say the land was expropriated by the state, or the owners of the expropriated properties are given a term of 5 months for the removal of their furniture. Or expropriation of property could be made only on the basis of law and for the public welfare, dobra publicznego, with appropriate compensation, ze stosownym zadośćuczynieniem, okay? So just because sometimes when we see new words, okay, we learn them, but we don't know how to use them. So here you've got the examples of sentences, how to use the words. Also, sometimes things like, for example, in Polish, we say mapa w skali. And then we think in English, wow, what to say, mapa w skali. Okay, so even if we survive or if we find it somewhere that the maps are at scales, okay, and then we see something like this and we don't know how to read it. So I put it in words. So this is always like 1, and we say 2, so I think it's just like in Polish, 500,000, or like here, like 1 to 1, I think it's million as far as million, no, yeah, yes. So I just to show you how to read maps, actually the scales given here, I think are the most popular ones. And below, you've got task 3 that you can find on Quizbrary. It's about the vocabulary that I have discussed, okay? So welcome to Quizbrary, and I think just start doing the exercise. Some people seem to be really experts. Okay, I hope it's not too hard. A lot to read, a lot to think, but I think it's practicing, so it's useful. And I will slowly move okay to the next slide. You know, the good thing is about Quiz Prairie that you can practice it over and over again because you have the access to the exercises all the time. So you can always just do them again. Okay, so let's move on. And some expressions used when we talk about functional zoning, so about the first and the most important thing. So we can say that the area is intended for, or it is permitted to conduct, or it is forbidden to do something. Then, as you can see, we've got a few expressions like land use, zoning, use classes, or zoning codes, depending on the country again, where we want to talk about different uses of the land. And some basic examples of zoning codes, it's, for example, services, manufacturing or production, warehouses, residential, where of course we can go into details like single family housing, multifamily housing, and so on, green areas, industrial, retail. Then, of course, we can have, let's say, the basic use, because I think in one of the texts you probably heard about overlays, or maybe not yet, maybe it will be later, but sometimes, you know, we've got the basic use, but there is, let's say, a complementary, conditional use, or allowable, permittable use, or special use. And there can be also excluded uses or functions like hospitals, nursing homes, lots of others. And now it will be a different kind of the exercise, because I will divide you at random into breakout rooms where you will do and you will see your Quiz Prairie exercise. These are, let's say, questions to discuss with your friends. So it will not, it, of course, there will be, let's say, correct answers and so on, but these will be questions more like a couple wants to buy a house somewhere, and they want to be sure that you know, there would be no, let's say, commercial zone next to the house. Okay, so I want you just to do the exercise and talk with your friends what you would do. Is it the right thing or not the right thing to do? Okay, I hope it's clear. And now I just try to divide you into breakout rooms. And of course, I will visit you. So don't worry. I think I will divide you into 4 rooms. So I will probably manage to visit all of you. Remember to turn on cameras and microphones. Okay, I am with you. I was just jumping from one room to the other, and different things happened in the rooms. People had different issues and different problems, from the technical ones that, for example, the microphones didn't work. But it was really nice at least to see some faces. So that's great. And let's continue. Now you have, let's say, some vocabulary which is connected with detailed issues covered by the development plan. And here you again have, let's say, the formal translations of these expressions, because sometimes, we think kompozycja funkcjonalno-przestrzenna or kształtowanie zabudowy, words which are or seem to be so simple, but when you have to translate them into English, sometimes you end up doing something completely different. So I think, for example, zagospodarowanie terenu, which of course when you look at land development seems to be easy, but when you have to use it, then it's not that easy. So here, as you can see, you have like basic things, and like environment and nature protection, land consolidation and subdivision. You remember that the plan was giving you the rules for dividing the land, or temporary land development, or, for example, upgrading the areas of the existing development and utility infrastructure, requiring remodeling or renovation. All these things, which like long sentences, complicated words, here you have them simply to look them up if you need them, of course. But just looking them up, let's say, it's a good idea to put you back into the regime of doing exercises, not in breakout rooms, but individually. And you simply have exercise 5, task 5, where the vocabulary will be a little bit tested. Okay, some people are finishing it, which is great, I think. And I hope that you are enjoying the exercise, if it is possible to enjoy the exercise, of course. And today I hope you will not hate me for that, but there will be so many words, but not all the words will be tested today. Like the end of the lesson, it is just, let's say, a set of expressions that you have as your private dictionary that you can use whenever you need it. But still, we have some words in front of us. And I think the word setback, which is a very useful word, because a setback line, linia zabudowy, or sometimes it's not a line but area. Why? Because the term setback refers to the distance, which of course in England, although officially they use the meters and centimeters, but mostly they still, if you talk with them, they talk about feet and inches. But so it's measured in feet or meters. A house or structure must be from the front, side, and rear property lines. Okay, so we've got, let's say, the land, and then it's exactly like how many meters or how many feet we have to be from, let's say, the property lines, linia zabudowy. And just here, I gave you the example of the sentence because I think it's also important sometimes how to put it in words. Setback requirements, for example, with public sewer and water are. So requirements with, because prepositions in English are terrible. So here you've got the way how to put it into words. And of course, in English, they will tell you some feet from the front, side, or rear property lines. And now a lot of words, and we need them because I have a vicious plan today for you, that when I put you into breakout rooms, you will have to prepare. Of course, I know it will be a limited local development plan for the kingdom of Charles III. This kingdom does not exist. I created it. But you have to know these words to be able to prepare the local spatial development plan that would satisfy Charles III. Okay, so let's go and have a look at some expressions. Nieprzekraczalne linie zabudowy. So we have, like, again, in Polish we say nieprzekraczalne, but it's minimum setback lines, okay? A little bit different way of putting it. Dopuszczalne przekroczenia poza wyznaczoną linię zabudowy, allowed encroachments, yes, in setback areas, or dopuszczalne wysunięcie, it is projection, or obowiązujące linie zabudowy, these are fixed building lines or setback lines. Or, for example, lico ścian frontowych budynku, a front wall face. Here, I think those who have a PowerPoint presentation, there is the word wycofanie, retraction. So retreatment, retraction towards possible. Then we have something like zwyżka. Yes, these are raises, or maximum floor area ratio at, or minimum biologically active surface area ratio, or minimum building height excluding, or maximum building height. We have minimum setback lines for grade levels of buildings, parter budynku, grade level, minimum plot area size, minimum plot front width, or even, like the angles. So, for example, location of the plot boundaries at 0 to 100 degree angle to the roadway, or impervious surface, also quite important, or vehicular and pedestrian circulation areas or routes, Or I think something that sounds very nice, it's building footprint. Footprint, you can imagine, print is that you print something. Like the foot, of course, the building can have a foot. It sounds strange, but it can have a foot. So if you imprint the foot of the building, this is the thing that we mean. So it's exactly the surface, the area the building takes, with all, let's say, little extensions, expansions, and everything. Yes. So just to get you prepared for planning for King Charles III, I think task 6 is waiting for you. So it's time for task for you to begin it. Okay, slowly, I think, finishing and getting ready to prepare the local spatial development plan for the king. Uh, I hope, and I would like, because I will put you into breakout rooms. So to make it clear, if you are in breakout rooms, you have to activate your microphones and cameras, because then you will not be able to cooperate. And if you look at chat at 1818, I uploaded the file. Please click it to see if everybody can open it, because I remember that last time somebody had a problem opening that file, like it was in, I think, ODT. That's why there was a problem. This time it is Word, so I hope it is possible to open it, but please do it if it works, because this is the basis of your work. There you have, let's say, the description of the kingdom of King Charles III, what he likes, what he doesn't like, what his requirements are, and if he is the guy with whom it is easy to negotiate or rather not. Because all these things are quite important when you are going to decide about the use zoning codes, about, let's say, the shape of buildings, about the, let's say, the bulk, the density of the buildings. So I think everybody should be able to see that file, and I hope you can open it. Yes, hopefully you can. Okay, I will see.
It is at the beginning of our meeting. Yes, this
Exactly
is
the
the
time
first.
when I
The first
posted
one.
it. Yes, it is 1818. So you should see the
The
message
first
at
file.
the very beginning, of our like, not the meeting, but when we started talking, Mirko, because we started
Yes.
talking
Yes.
a little bit earlier. But
Earlier.
really, it is 1818 if you look at the time. Yes, so again, I will put you into the breakout rooms, but now I think I will create 3 of them only. Okay. I have visited all rooms, and I listened to very interesting suggestions and ideas, and I liked all of them. They were really great. So I just hope that we will never meet King Charles, because I don't think I would like to plan anything for him. But who knows? Maybe it will happen. I had a great fun when I was creating that figure anyway, and all his superstitions. By the way, I hope you know that in England, black cat brings luck. So you can always choose the English version if the black cat crosses your path. Yes. And now, if you look at like this, yes, this is, as you can see, useful expressions and vocabulary slides. And as you can see, it looks really terrible. It's from 15 to 22. And the good news thing is that I'm not going to talk about it. I think that's something that you will have to read, look at whenever you need it, because these are just sentences that you may find useful if you ever have to read any local spatial development plan. And because, as you can see, I will just go like this. Yes, look, it's just like lots of expressions uh, connected with the local development plan, even like, the number of parking lots and underground parking lots, and all these I would say a very interesting expression, because I don't know what we really say in Polish, but in English they talk about accessible parking lots. Accessible, it means that if people are handicapped, they can get there because, for example, it is prepared for the wheelchairs. So everything that is accessible, it is prepared for the people who are, let's say, physically challenged. Okay, so that's the word, and you will find it, of course, in the slides. So I wish you good luck reading all these things, because what else can I say? I just hope that you have enjoyed our lesson today. Even though there were some technical problems, but I was happy to hear that Victor joined us, even though he is still traveling somewhere. So that's great. So I would like to say thank you. Uh, and see you next week when we will talk about much more serious things, about the market analysis. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Olo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.